Hi there and welcome to the channel. I'm Slate and today we are back with Builder Champ. Today we are going to be looking at Elowyn. Let's just get straight into it. Now, who was Elowyn? Elowyn, for those of you who don't know, is an AoE healer. She is one of the OG quote-unquote best heroes in Watcher of Realms, and that is because of a few things that are part of her kit. So like I said, on her basic, she is an attack-based AoE healer. She can heal 3 enemies within range. Once she's promoted, these 2 squares do get filled in, so it's a very sort of like standard box in front and behind. And then, yeah, on her ultimate, this actually extends out to what we call the Vortex range, which is really nice, actually. Covers a huge, huge area. She heals all allies for 40% of her base healing every second, lasting for 10 seconds. But the first healing removes all debuffs from all allies within range, and this is absolutely massive, particularly in content such as Apoc 1 and 2, which is where you get poisoned, and so she's absolutely fantastic in that content. And then in terms of passives, she's got 2 very interesting passives. Firstly, this summoning of a wood elf. Essentially, it's this teeny little sprite that you can place anywhere on the board, and it will heal in the sort of like directly next to it, which is fantastic because it means that you could technically just bring in Elowyn, use the wood elf to heal someone else across the board. There's very few healers that actually cover across the board. Ezran is one of them. So this is really good. But the other thing that's quite cool is there is a funky little trick that you can do with the wood elf to regen cost. I'll show you that in a second. And then the final thing is that she applies a rage regen. It's a 0.2% rage regen, which can go up to a 2.2% rage regen. And this can go from 5 seconds to 3 seconds for all allies on the board. So this actually makes her absolutely fantastic to just bring in, place on the board, and then just generate rage regen for your entire team. And it can be incredibly helpful for content where you're trying to get ultimates out a lot. Now, in terms of awakenings, this A1 is a little bit misleading. It does say that after using Grace of Nature, which is her ultimate, it reduces damage taken by 20% for 10 seconds. Now, this reads like it should give whoever she's healing within the ultimate a 20% damage reduction, which would be absolutely fantastic for content like Abyss. However, it only actually applies to Elowyn, and so it is a little bit lackluster. Then in terms of her A3, this is really nice. It means that her basic attack has a chance to dispel those debuffs, which again is very important in Apoc, so it can be very nice when you're trying to do like an auto run type deal to have this in there. And then the A5 is absolutely cracked. I'm just going to tell you now. It allows you to obtain the wood elf immediately after using the Grace of Nature. Now, when we were saying about the wood elf, essentially one of the things to note about it, let's just pull up just a random stage. Now, like I said, this is her ult, and then you can see her ult range is further out, but I want to show you a couple of cool things with the wood elf. So obviously, anyone who is over here is not going to get healed. But oh goodness me, that's not going to help because it's in the wrong spot. There's no tiles to put down. Let's say we're gonna have Nisha. Oh gosh, Nisha here. Now obviously Nisha is outside of Elowyn's range, but this little wood elf can be placed down, and you can see it will heal all tiles around it, which is absolutely fantastic. But I also want you to take a quick look at the cost. As you can see, we've got 30 cost. We obviously used it. And then when you pick it up, it actually generates cost back. So it's a really nice little way to actually generate cost for your team if you don't want to bring in a dedicated cost regener onto your lineup or onto your squad. But yeah, anyway, they're the sort of like 2 little things about Elowyn's kit and her passives that make her very strong. Oh, and the other thing to note about this wood elf is it is on a timer, which essentially means that it will come back after X amount of seconds. You can then place it, pick it up again, and everything else like that. But if you have Elowyn at A5, the interesting thing is that deployment after the generation of the wood elf after the ultimate doesn't seem to affect the timer of your like base wood elf, if that makes sense. So you can actually effectively get back-to-back wood elves, or you can cycle them a lot quicker, and that way it can really help you with healing and content where you need that extra healing that the wood elf does, because obviously the wood elf is a separate healer. So yeah, anyway, that is just a couple of things about Elowyn's kit and her passive to show that in action. Just a little interjection here because I realized I missed it out. Where can you use Elowyn? Basically, Elowyn is fantastic in the fact that she can be used in a huge variety of content. Essentially any PvE, you can definitely use her. She's amazing in all of the gear raids, both of the gear dungeons. She's really helpful in artifact material raid. She's obviously very good in campaign progression. You can use her in PvP in terms of there are some that you can use her in arena, and then obviously you can use her in GVG, but to be completely honest, she's not great in GVG because you want to have something that is going to give you second life and, you know, everything like that. So yeah, I'd basically say in terms of her use cases, she's incredibly versatile, and yeah, that's all I wanted to jump in to say. Now, in terms of skill investment, I do think that she is absolutely worth investing in all of her skills. Particularly, you definitely want to prioritize this rage regen if you're bringing her onto the team. Then I would say you want to make sure that you've got her ultimate going. Then it's going to be this wood elf coming on. And then, like you can see here, it's got this cooldown that you can have it. So it's every 30 seconds when it's maxed out. And then I would say her basic attack. But obviously, if you are bringing Elowyn in to heal, you definitely want to make sure that she is healing. In terms of awakenings, like I said, you know, her A1 and her A3 and A5 are really, really nice. Well, it's mainly her A3 and her A5 to be really nice, let's be honest. But do I think she's worth your Soulstones? Absolutely not. She is a normal summon hero pool, and so definitely just get her organically rather than putting in any of those super, super rare unpolished Soulstones, and definitely not any legendary Soulstones. Sometimes her Soulstone will appear in the shop, and I think if you're at the point where you've sold a few legendaries and you've collected a lot of A5s and you've got some coins around and you are looking at that mainly A5, maybe A3 if you really need it, then I do think picking up her Soulstone could be absolutely worth it. Like I said, this A5 makes a huge difference. So in terms of stats for Elowyn, one thing I would say priority stat is going to be speed, because obviously the faster that she goes, the more heals that she's going to get out to your team. Obviously you want to make sure that she is able to heal. That is going to be a mixture of her healing stat, which is obviously attack, and then healing effect, which sort of has a soft cap of around 100. There is some evidence that you could go a bit higher, but to be honest, I think, you know, 100 is way more than enough. And then obviously rage regen, if you are doing a rage build for Elowyn, particularly in Apoc, which we'll get to for that ult coming out, then that sort of hard cap is about 132%. And then the other thing is obviously, depending on the content you're bringing her in and the more intense that content is, you're going to also need to build her with some survivability. So yeah, quite a few stats, but then, you know, attack-based healers are a bit stat heavy compared to their HP-based healers, but that's absolutely fine. In terms of general notes, in terms of gear, on the left-hand side, she does have an exclusive chest, and this is in the Wings of Grace, which is a lovely set for her. Actually, it increases healing effect by 30 and rage regen by 10%. But the really lovely thing is that for her is that when deployed, it increases her max HP by amount equal to 20 times her healing effect, which is a really nice way to get a lot of survivability on Elowyn if you are building her to be an attack like if you are pumping the attack stacks for her healing. So yeah, that is her exclusive gear. She doesn't have any esoteric exclusive gear. I mean, you can put her in Cataclysm if you really want, but she's not going to do any damage. But in terms of left-hand sets that are really nice for her, if you are going for a tanky build, I think you can get away with Astral Guardian. You could also use Mortal Warrior if you're getting there. Light's Grace, like I said, with that exclusive, absolutely beautiful. Warlord for attack and for speed. And then if you're progressing, I think it would definitely be Whirlwind and possibly Salvation as well. In terms of right-hand gear sets, generally speaking, I would say you are obviously going to want to move into Wings of Grace and Invigoration. Definitely the best set for healers because it then also boosts an ally on your team. But if you're progressing, then I think Acephalus is really nice. I would also say, particularly in gear raid to the hardest stages like 22, 23, 24, you may actually want to build your healer in a tank set. So that is going to be Tempered Will, Unshaken Will, or Guardian. Whereas Guardian down here for that survivability. And obviously the other option for any healer is going to be Morale if you are not really if you've like already got everyone invigged. But yeah, but essentially the main sets you're looking for are those two. In terms of artifacts, her best in slot, in my opinion, is going to be Euphoric Orb. And that is because it increases the attack speed of all heroes in range by 30 seconds, every 60 seconds, lasting for 40 seconds if you have it fully maxed out. This is really nice for just generally boosting your team. And then the other option is going to be the Golden Scarab, which increases attack by 5% and rage regen by 50%. So if you're struggling with rage regen and getting her ultimate out, then this is the one that you would want to go for. And then if you are progressing, I mean, there aren't very good sort of legendary artifacts for healers. I would say a single base copy of a Euphoric Orb is going to help you more, to be completely honest. But if you do need to get some attack on her, you can always chuck in a Keen Wisdom. I bring this artifact up most times in builds, and that is because it is just a fantastic beginner artifact. So let's start with the progression build. We are going to be putting her, like I said, I think there's two options. I think there's Whelmond or Salvation. Ideally, you want to prioritize attack speed and rage regen, and the lovely thing about Salvation is that on the ancient pieces you can get both of these pieces, so you can get it that way. I think you can just about get it. Yeah, you can just about get it on Whirlwind, but it is going to be more damage based, so I wouldn't necessarily lean towards that. So we're going to go for Salvation here, and then I would try and make sure that you can bring in HP bonus and attack bonus, or attack bonus and healing effect. There we go. So let's see what we've got here. Maybe we'll get rid of the healing effect. Nope, add in the HP bonus. Okay, nice, cool. So for progression for this right hand side, we are going to bring in a Cephalus, pretty basic. We are going to do attack bonus main, ideally looking for speed and healing effect. This is a really nice one for that. Then it's going to be the same on the ring. Ideally, I would say for progression, I would do a HP ring because I think you might need some survivability, or you can do another attack bonus. But definitely make sure that this middle one is attack speed, ideally with attack bonus, and maybe a little bit of rage regen would be nice as well. Having a look. And some HP, this would be really nice here. So yeah, this is sort of what we're going to be looking at. You can see we're well over that 132. We got the 75. She's got a lovely amount of speed here, good amount. Try and at least double this stat to make sure that she's getting some healing going. And then obviously she has got, I would say, anything over 25k HP for progression is going to be really nice. And obviously I think the other thing to say is if you do not have an Acephalus set or an Invigoration set or a Wings of Grey set and you're progressing, just do a broken set and look for the right stats. So it'd be attack bonus with attack speed, rage regen, and healing effect. Maybe some HP bonus in there as well. Cool. Mana Spring. It's definitely more important on healers to make sure that they have the right stats than necessarily put them in the right set, unless you are talking about Wings and Invig once you get decent sets of those. So yeah, anyway. Moving on now to two builds. Firstly, we're going to do this Apoc build that I have mentioned. And essentially what I would say is this is going to be the rage focus set. We want to be maxing out that 132% rage. So we want a rage main thing with attack speed, some attack and some healing bonus, something like that. Then it's going to be speed on the ring here with making sure we've got rage regen there. And then for this one, depending on what you want to do, left hand side gear. So left hand side gear, if you want to go tanky with the Astral Guardian, which is what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to do an attack bonus main piece. But if you wanted to do a HP bonus main piece, then you could do Grace or Warlord on the left hand side. Does that make sense? But for harder boss content, I definitely advise making sure that you have survivability, particularly on your healer, because obviously as things go on, you want them to survive. So, right, what are we doing here? Let's go for that. And then, yeah, like I said, we are going to go into Astral Guardian. We are going to go for, we're not going to get HP bonus, but if we can get these, that would be nice. Attack bonus, HP, very good. And then I don't know if we've got any, we do have speed, so we still want to prioritize that speed. And this one has healing effect as well. So cool. So we've got to 102% rage. with 600 speed and still making sure that that's doubled, but we're almost getting close to 40k for survivability. And then, yeah, rage regen's 100%. Now, if you realize, oh, goodness me, that is not enough rage regen, then definitely move into Light's Grace or Salvation. Attack speed, rage regen. If you can, like I said, get her in her exclusive, then that is going to help an absolute ton. Let's go for that one here. So there we go. Now we've definitely gone well over the 132. She's still nice and fast. She's still got attack, and she's a bit squishy now. She's a 30k HP, but like I said, with her exclusive, we're basically looking at 100 times 20, so that's 2,000. So that is now bringing up to closer to 31,000, which is going to be, that's not a small amount of boost that you can get. And like I said, Euphoric Orb is going to be her best in slot, but if you are struggling with rage regen, then it is going to be the Golden Scarab is going to be what's right for you. Okay, and now for what I'd call just a general PvE build for Elowyn. This is going to be sort of more like late game. We are again going to aim for her exclusive gear, and then we are going to again Light's Grace. Let's get attack speed, rage regen, and attack bonus in there. Let's go for this one. Okay, and then we are going to get her ideally in wings, and it is going to be an attack bonus main with rage regen speed. Do I have any? No, I do not. Great. It's very hard to get good pieces of Wings of Grace, not gonna lie. She's also gonna go in an attack speed on the ring, and that is because don't need her to have that much rage regen. You can see we're already at 84%, but we again want to make sure is an attack speed amulet. Get rid of that, bring in attack speed. Do we have HP bonus? We don't have any with HP bonus. Ooh, okay, we'll go for that one. And let's see how squishy she is. 24,000, that should be okay for a lot of content. Again, if that was something that she was struggling with, then you could turn one of these attack bonus rings into a HP bonus. And again, going to keep her in Euphoric Orb because it's pretty awesome. So yeah, that is basically how to build Elowyn. A couple of little things to sort of talk about with her is she is definitely considered one of the absolute OG amazing meta units in the game, but the brand new hero Earlis actually is giving Elowyn a bit of a run for her money because of the capabilities that she has on her skill overview, whatever you want to call it, whereby she can also generate rage, does healing, and also has a bit of a death save as well. So yeah, Elowyn is still an absolutely amazing unit and well worth picking up. But yeah, just Alice is giving her a bit of a run for her money. But yeah, anyway, do let me know in the comments below, when did you get Elowyn? Are you still looking for Elowyn? And how do you build your Elowyn? But yeah, that is going to be everything from me today. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video and the next live stream. So until then, take care and bye for now.